What's up, everyone? My name is Colby, aka Serial Killer 02 on Twitch, Instagram, and here on YouTube. I want to start off by saying thank you for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and also hit the subscribe and the alarm button. That way you will be updated whenever I post more videos. And I can promise you that I at least have 2 more videos coming up pretty soon. But today I want to show you a board game that is a Kickstarter exclusive board game. It is done by my favorite company, Monolith. And if you're not familiar with Monolith, they are the company that brought you Conan, the board game. They also created Mythic Battles Pantheon along with Mythic Games. And now Monolith has the license for Mythic Battles, and Mythic Battles Ragnarok will be coming out this year on Kickstarter. They also created Batman Gotham City Chronicles, and Batman Gotham City Chronicles 2 should be up on Kickstarter this year. And they also reproduced a game that a lot of people have liked that is an older game, and that game is Claustrophobia, and this is Claustrophobia 1643. So as you can tell, the box art is fantastic, and it is heavy. Monolith makes incredible games, and they're a lot of fun to play. The components of their games are fantastic, and the models are top-notch. With this game, they only made 10,000 copies of the game. And they are Kickstarter exclusive, and at the time of recording this, they are about to bring the Kickstarter back to sell the last 2,500 copies they have. Once those are sold, that is it. So if you've been thinking about picking up this game, or if you've heard about this game and that's what brought you to the channel, check out the unboxing. Hopefully it helps you out. If you have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the comments. And if you would like to see some other unboxings, let me know what you would like to see unboxed, and maybe I can make it happen. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at what is inside the box for Claustrophobia 1643. First thing you will see when you open up the box is you will see a piece of artwork. And this artwork was given to everybody that backed the Kickstarter. And this is the Destroyer, and as you can tell, the artwork is absolutely amazing. The cool thing about this art is it was a limited edition. It is signed and numbered. And I got number 1,573 out of 10,000, so I am really excited about this. I really love this artwork, and I love this piece. So it's really cool to get that and have a lower number. Below that, you actually find the rule book and the scenario booklet, and then under those, you find the French rule book and scenario booklet. So that's kind of a cool little aspect that they put in here as well. The books, they are done with some really nice and thick paper, and I am going to turn down the lighting just a little bit here so you can see it a little better. When we open it up, you can see the more just awesome artwork and then the contents of the rule book. The rule book has quite a few different sections, but on the plus side, it is not that big. It looks like it is 26 pages, and it comes with an index. So I've read through this, and it is real easy to understand. You actually get a little bit of the background of the game and what is going on, and then it gets into all of the different components, which I will be showing you and go into more detail about in this video. So as you see, it just has a lot of pictures, a lot of details, and a lot of information in the book. So I will try to go through some of that and try to help you all understand what is in this game. So there's the books. Once you take that off, comes all of the fun stuff. Alright, I have turned the light back up so it's a little bit easier to see everything that comes in the game. So this right here is going to be the Board of Destiny. And the Board of Destiny is the control panel of the infernal player. So the player that plays as the enemies or the monsters. It allows them to manage their threat points and dice of destiny, but also to trigger their powers by assigning those dice. One thing I wanted to show you, here is the Board of Destiny, and I have not punched everything out yet, so I will kind of just show you in the book what it's supposed to look like. So that's what it will look like whenever it is done. Once you punch these out, you can put this board inside of it right here, and then you will see all of this. So to kind of go over the information that is on this board, a lot of it is the same stuff that is will be talked about a little bit later. You've got the name, you've got the type, you've got the health, movement, attack, you've got their armor, and the things that are a little bit different on this one, you have got the phase, again, which indicates when each attack can be done. Then you have the name of the power, so that's all pretty much going to be the same. Then you've got the target, and as you can tell, each one of these can target a lot of different models. And then right here you've got the trigger condition. So this is where you're going to put dice, and you have to get a certain amount to be able to trigger that condition. And then the space for the dice of destiny is going to be right here, kind of like I was just pointing out. So as you roll and you build up dice, you'll be able to do stronger attacks if you want to go that route. And then right here it shows the effects of each one, and the triggered effect is represented by an icon, and all of the descriptions are in the rule book. Like this one, for example, is an effect, and during the threat phase, the infernal player can bring their warriors into play, ignoring any tile with an opening restriction. So the infernal player can bring any of their warriors onto that map tile, even if it is full, and I will get into that information in just a few minutes. And then from there, you have got your threat point area, and this is where the infernal player keeps the threat points they have gained. And threat points are used with little red stones. Let me see, I've got them right here. You're going to put these on the dashboard, and that's kind of how you take care of how many you have used throughout the game. Then over here you've got your available dice pool, and you can and the reserve can hold the 6 dice of destiny, and those are the ones that are available to the infernal player to trigger their powers, and those of the demons and the hellhounds. And then right here is called the alarm tile dice space. So up to 3 bonus dice of destiny obtained through the effect of an alarm tile can be placed in this space, and it is only used as a reminder. So there's a lot that goes into this game. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of a better idea of what the Board of Destiny really does. And then right under the Board of Destiny comes a lot of the tokens that you will need for the Board of Destiny, as well as the other dashboards that come in the game. So let me see if I can turn down the light just a little bit again so we can get a little bit of that glare off here. So I will take this out of the packaging. Some of the other tokens that are on here, you've got different things, like these are the talents that you can get. Some of these are the bodyguard. So during an attack, a warrior with this talent can choose to suffer a number of hits allocated to an allied warrior in combat on the same tile. So you can kind of take the hits for somebody who might be low on health. And then for another one, you have you've got resistant, and that is a warrior with this talent ignores the first hit they suffer in each activation phase. So that one can definitely help you out a lot. Up here at the top, you have got what is called impressive, and whoever has impressive is a warrior with this talent can prevent one or more enemies from leaving the tile that they are currently on. And I will explain what the tiles are and kind of how all that works here in just a minute. If a warrior with elusive is on the same tile as one or more enemies with impressive, the two talents cancel each other out, and the normal blocking rule applies to all. So you definitely have to watch who else is in the tile that you are on. And then this token here is frenzied, and with that, a warrior with this talent can reroll each combat die once if it did not produce a hit the first time during step 2 of the combat. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things here. And then here you've got elusive. So a warrior with this talent, he can move without taking any action, or excuse me, without taking into account the number of enemy warriors. They are therefore not affected by the blocking rule. If a warrior with elusive is on the same tile as one or more enemies with impressive, the two talents cancel each other out, and the normal blocking rule applies to all. So that kind of gives you both sides of that. And moving on from the token sheet, let's go ahead and look at what is under it. And this is where this box gets really impressive. This is where everything gets stays, where everything gets stored. And as you can tell, Monolith has gone all out once again. And so with that, let's take a look at all the tiles that you get. That's just one stack. You get a total of 48 tiles in this game, and all of these tiles are different, and they are all awesome. I mean, the artwork's just so cool. And the cool thing about the way that the game plays is you will have a tile that is laid down, something like that. The rest of these are all upside down, laying over here. So whenever a new tile is chosen, it gets flipped over, and then the person playing as the monsters or the enemies or whatever you want to call it gets to pick which way the dungeon goes. So it can be like that, or they can turn it like this to where they can't keep going down, and they have to go left and right. However they want to set it, they can. So that's kind of a cool aspect to the game. Now, if you look on the tiles, you will see that there's a couple of different numbers here. The number down here on the bottom in red is the tile number, so that lets you know just what number the tile is, so it's easier to keep track of. Then this number right here is the occupation limit, and that value indicates the number of figures that can be on that map, and that's from both sides, both factions. And then if you look, this is an effect icon. Some tiles possess special rules that are indicated with an icon, so there's going to be different things that happen for different icons. Some of them have tentacles, some of them have a cross. There's a lot of different ones. And then, of course, over here are the openings on the tiles. So that's kind of gives you an idea of what are on the tiles and kind of what those look like. Then here you have got these dice, and if you look, I will take it out and kind of show you. These are the combat dice, and they are numbered 1 to 5, and then you've got a skull. So, depending on how good you are at rolling dice, I usually hit the 1. Depends on what will happen. So the combat dice, they're used by both players, and the combat dice are rolled to determine the number of successful hits that occur during combat. So the skull icon indicates a value of 6, so that's kind of the epic hit, or the critical hit right there. So with that, it looks like you end up getting 10 dice So you will be doing quite a bit of rolling. Then you have got 2 sets of each of the cards, one in English, and then you've got one in French. So since I can't speak French, we will go with the English cards. So with the cards, these are the equipment cards. And so according to the scenario, the Western warriors, they will have access to equipment such as weapons or armor. And they are represented by, obviously, these cards. And the effects and conditions of use are indicated on each of the card. So like with the reinforced leather armor, it says this warrior has a minimum 4 block, and even if they are exhausted. So that is awesome to get. And if you look on the back, it's got a little chest on it to let you know that that is equipment that you can get. And then over here, if we pull these out, we have got the instinct cards. And these cards on the back, they have the little cross. And with these cards, depending upon the effects of the choice of the line of activation, and here are the instinct cards. And with these cards, they have 2 different uses, and the hero player is the one that will get these instinct cards. There are 24 of them. So as you go through, there's different things that they can do. You'll see that they have a different number on him at the bottom, and it goes from 1 to 6. And then they also have the names of them at the top, and then they will have a little bit of text. Like this one says, this warrior gains the elusive talent. Or you can flip it around, and that one, it will do something different for you. So in other words, you have to choose which side you're going to use at the beginning of your turn. And so these cards have 2 uses, and the player must choose one of them at the moment they are played. So on the one hand, they allow the result of the activation die to be modified. So this right here will modify the die by 1. And it goes all the way up to 6, so it can be an instant hit. And then on the other is just a single effect that you can do, kind of like we talked about. This warrior gains the elusive talent. So that's kind of a cool aspect to the game as well, and those can help you out, and they also can hinder you. And then we have got the event cards. And these cards are for the infernal player. And so this is the person that's going to be playing as the kind of monsters. So, and these effects and conditions of use, they're indicated on each card. And what this is, there is a place on the Board of Destiny, where once you get a certain amount of points or dice rolls, you can use that to get something to happen. So that would be one of these events. So like this, suicide attack. Play this card during a troglodyte attack. They gain +2 attack and then are killed after resolving the attack. So it makes one of their characters a lot stronger, actually. So from there, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the models. Now that I have moved the box, let's take a look at some of the models that come in the game. First, we will start off with the Hellhounds. You get 2 of these in the game, and I really like the detail that they have put into these. If you look, you can see the ribs coming out the side, so it looks like they are hungry, and so that makes them even, the snarling and showing of teeth, even scarier. The way that they stand is really cool as well. One thing you will notice is all of the bases are texturized already, so that is an awesome detail that they have put into the models for this game. Moving on from there, let's take a look at the Sorcerer. The Sorcerer is a really cool model as well. It's got something sticking through its head, and then it's also like it's floating. So that's a really cool different kind of idea that they have put into that. The next one I want to take a look at is the Destroyer, and this is the same model that was in the artwork that comes with the Kickstarter. So as you can tell, the model is as detailed as the artwork is, and they did a great job on these models. Monolith always does a fantastic job with the models and the components that they put into their games. The next one that we have is the Prying, and it's just a little four-legged, mean-looking thing. I haven't got to play the game yet, so I am not 100% sure what all of these do. So, yeah, I mean, all of the models are just really cool. You've also got the Haunter, and it's kind of an apparition-looking kind of model. All of the stances for these models and just the detail in them alone is worth picking up the game for sure. From there, let's go ahead and take a look at the Master of Souls, sitting on a throne, and I'm not 100% sure what all of these characters do yet, because like I said, I have not played it, but they seem like they are going to be pretty brutal. Here is the Brood Mother, and this one I have no clue what's going on, but it's kind of hard to see, but all of the little squiggly things where my hand is, those are babies holding on to her. And then she's even holding one from the leg. So I have no clue what that is all about, and I can't wait to find out. Next up, let's take a look at the Hunter. And this model's just so cool because you got the eyes back here and then the big mouth and the big beak. And it's half human, half bird. I don't even know. And it's just a really cool idea and cool design. I'm just blown away with the detail that Monolith puts into their models. The next one we have up is the Torturer, and he looks like an evil-looking thing. Like I said, I have not played the game yet, so I am really interested to see how each of these characters play and what kind of damage they are able to do. Kind of like the Bloated here. This one I think is probably going to be some kind of maybe tank. And it's just really crazy to think of what some of the background stories to some of these monsters could be. Now we have a few more left on this tray. The next one we are going to look at is the Cerberus. And this is just a big beast. I mean, you can see how big it is in the palm of my hand. Like, this thing is gigantic. And it's really mean looking. I mean, I just can't say enough about the models that Monolith puts out. They just do a fantastic job. The other two models that we will look at is the Possessed. And again, I just get a real horror movie kind of vibe from it. Something that would be in Guillermo del Toro movie or something that would just be out of a nightmare. I mean, it is just incredible the way these look, and the two Possessed models are freaky to say the least. Now that we have taken a look at a lot of the Infernal Players models and the special units, let's take a look at the bottom tray. There is one more special unit on here, and it is the Scourge. And again, you can see how big the model is, and the detail is just awesome. There is nothing on here that's very bland or not detailed. They did a great job with the molding and the sculpting of that model. Next, we have got the Troglodytes, and these are going to be the minions that kind of go out and do a lot of the attacking at first. And then moving on, you have got the Tough Troglodytes. Regular Troglodytes, you get 11 of them. And the Tough Troglodytes, you get 2. So obviously they're going to be tougher than the original Troglodytes. Let's take a look at the models for the Western Warriors. This one here, we have got the Swordsman. And again, detail is just awesome. Let me see if I can get it focused just a little bit more on it. There we go. And the detail is just really cool. I love all the stance that they've given these models. And just the way that they look. I mean, they've done such a spectacular job. Next up, you have got the Redeemer. And again, just really cool detail. I love that it has kind of the Bible, I guess you could say, on its back, and just the, again, all the detail that they put into it. After that, you have got the Guardian. And just from looking at the models, I think you can kind of tell what classes each of them are going to be. And then from there, you have got the Condemned Scouts. And as you can tell, just the details and the way that these models stand, it's so cool that they put them in action the way that they did. So, again, just amazing detail and incredible pieces. And then the last two models we have are the Condemned Brutes. And so these guys are just a little bit bigger. Obviously, because they are brutes, they are stronger and have more power, so they're going to be just a little bit bigger. But I really like how the whip on this one is kind of swung back, like he's in the middle of swinging the whip or staff, whatever you want to call it. So, and I really like that he has a wood shield. That just adds so much more detail and story to each of these characters, because it shows that they don't have a lot of big armor and weapons. So that's a really cool idea that they put into the game and into the models. Alright, now that we have looked at everything that comes on the top of the box, let's go ahead and take off the map tiles and the miniatures and see what is underneath. And there it is. This part is awesome to me. Like, everything fits in here perfectly. It does not move. You won't have to worry about things moving around when you are transferring the box. So right here, you have got a big stack of damage tokens. And these damage tokens I will explain a little bit more in detail here shortly. But each of the tokens are see-through skulls, and so I apologize that it is hard to see what those are. And then here you have got what are called the Prima Materia gems. And these gems are rare stone, but it is abundant in the underworld in this game. It has great powers and is much sought after by humans. These gems are the currency of the infernal player, and this allows them to bring into play their warriors. The small gems here, these are worth 1 threat point, and the big ones are worth 3 threat points each. So that's kind of how the infernal player is going to bring in some of their figures into battle and into play. And after looking at those gems, next let's take a look at some of these dashboards. As you can tell right here, there are different spaces and spots for different things from the dashboards. And these dashboards open up, and then you slide these down into them. Now, since I have not punched everything out, I am not going to really try to show that, but I will explain what these dashboards have on them and what everything means for each of these dashboards. That way you kind of understand what is going on. So, starting up here, you've got the name. And then right here, this is going to show you the force and the type. So whatever icon is right here, it's either going to be a book, which is, let me see if I've got one here, going to be something that looks like this. And that shows that that is the leader. This one shows that it is a fighter. So that's going to play a big role in how the game is played and how scenarios go. Right here you have got the artwork for the figures, and then this section right here is really interesting. This is kind of what sets this game apart from other games. This is going to be the lines of action. So right here, you can see that it's numbered 1 to 6. Whenever you roll the dice, depending on how many heroes are actually playing, or how many Western warriors, excuse me, are playing in the game, say you are playing with 3, you will roll 3 dice. And on those dice, you will get either a 1 through 6. Whatever number pops up, you have to decide which dice you're going to use. So say you roll a 1, a 4, and a 3. And on this, you have different stat lines. So say with this one, you see that with the 4, you get 2 movement, 2 attack, and 4 block. So you would put the dice that has the number 4 right there. On your next character, you might see that, okay, this one's going to have a little bit more attack if it goes on the 1. So you use the dice that had the 1. And then they will get a 1 movement, a 4 attack, and a 3 block. So you really have to be careful with how you put your dice and what attacks each figure is going to do. And with that, you're going to see these hearts right here. That is where these damage tokens are going to go. So whenever one of your characters gets hit, you put a damage token on any of the lines that you want to. Now, when you roll the dice, if you land on a 1 and you put it on this character, the character cannot move and cannot attack, but they will still have a blocking percentage, I guess you could say, a number of blocks that they can do. So that's kind of a really cool idea that they have put into it. And then this space is for gift tokens and to draw an instinct card. And this space can hold a gift token or an instinct card icon depending on what is on that card or in that section. And then here is the talents. And so each warrior has different talents that they can have. Some of them have 2, kind of like the leader, and others only have 1. So that kind of lets you know how the dashboards are for the hero player. Now let's take a look at some of the infernal dashboards. Here is what their dashboard is going to look like. You have got the holder for it that opens up and you slide the card down into it. So again, I have not punched these yet, so I will just show you on their cards what all of the symbols and everything means on there. So as you can see, you get cards for each type. You have got a lot of different stuff, and the French is on one side and the English is on the other. So let's take a look at the Hellhound cards and we will see what those do. Now on the Hellhound board, you are going to see that at first you've got the name, and then from there you've got the force and type. It's either going to be a demon or a Hellhound. So these are the 2 different symbols that you will see within the game. Then you've got the artwork, just like on the other cards. From there, you've got their statistics. So they have 3 health, they have no movement, no attack, and they do 4 damage. And that is to start off with. So you have the 2 different Hellhounds here with 2 different pieces of artwork. From there, we take a look and we will see that they have got 2 spots right here, and that is the talents. And some demons have 1 or more talents that are represented by icons. Obviously, the Hellhounds do not. And then starting from there, you have got the power and the different power that each of the Hellhounds will have. So right here, this is the phase. This icon indicates during which phase the power can be used. So it's going to depend, each monster is going to have a different time that they can activate and use their power. Then you've got the name of the power, and from there you move across and it shows right here the target, and this icon indicates the warrior's who are affected by this power. So it looks like the Hellhound is going to attack a Hellhound. And again, I haven't played yet, so I'm not 100% sure on all of the rules. And then on right here, as you can tell, you've got 1, 2, and 3. And those numbers are the trigger condition, and this indicates the value or combination of dice of destiny that is necessary to trigger the power. So there's a lot to it, and it's just really cool information and stuff. So right here you've got on the top is preparation spaces, and the dice is located here until the trigger condition of the corresponding power is fulfilled, and then it slides down. And that's where the trigger space is. And when the trigger conditions of the power are fulfilled, the Infernal player slides the dice from the preparation space to the trigger space, and the effect is triggered. And then with this entire piece right here, this is the effect. The triggered effect is described for each demon and Hellhound in the box, and it also indicates the duration that the effect remains active. So, and then if nothing is indicated, the effect is immediate. And then down here you have got their health. So that kind of gives you an idea on the difference between the Hellhounds and the monsters is right here you will see that they have an ability. And each demon has an ability whose effects and the conditions of use are described on the board right here. And obviously the Hellhounds, as you can see, do not have any of that damage to be able to do, or any special abilities. And then the last thing we will take a look at are the activation dice, and these are going to be only used by the human players, so the Western warriors, and this is to activate the warriors. These are the dice you're going to roll, and whatever number you get is what you're going to put on the dashboard. So like I was saying, say I rolled a 4 on that, I would put the 4 right there. That means that the swordsman can run, or can move 2, attack 2, and has 4 shield. So there is those, and then here are the dice of destiny, which are going to go on the dashboard for the Infernal player. And these are to activate their powers, and those of the demons and the Hellhounds. So there are those, and then this is the combat dice, so that's what you use to roll the dice, or roll for combat, and that's kind of what I explained earlier. So that is everything that is in the box for Claustrophobia 1643. And there it is. There you have it. That is the contents of Claustrophobia 1643. As you can tell, the components are pretty awesome, and the dashboards are really thick. I love this game, and it is a lot of fun to play. It is definitely worth the money, that is for sure. For everything you get, I highly recommend this to anybody that is looking for a good game for 2 players. And it's definitely worth it. It's just, everything about the game is just cool, but I'm a huge fan of dungeon crawlers, and I like the whole demon-esque kind of feel to it, and just the idea behind it. I think it's a really cool idea, the way everything works with the dice and where you put them and all that kind of... It's just a different kind of mechanic to play with, and it really makes you think about what you're doing and if you're doing the right thing for your characters. So with that being said, there you go, and I hope this helped you out, and I will be back very soon with a few more unboxings. Hope you all have a great day, and happy gaming. Bye-bye.